Assetto Corsa EVO on Steam Deck, thanks to 505 Games for writing a code of the game. So first of all, let's see the deck compatibility. As usual, Valve is still learning about this title. This is a custom engine like the original Assetto Corsa, but the one in the middle, Competizione was Unreal Engine 4. So this one is again a custom engine. I'm guessing they got burned with Unreal Engine. So as soon as you launch the game, my advice is to use 800p. Then when it comes to graphics, put FSR3 on quality, disable MSAA, put everything on the minimum, excepting anisotropic filtering, ambient occlusion, and grass density. So the grass is not removed. Mirrors mode on single. And that's basically it. As soon as you put these settings, close the game and reopen it. So start using VRAM all over the place. So again, change this, apply the changes, then restart the game. As soon as you get into the racing part, you're going to have a little loading screen. Hopefully the game doesn't crash for you there, but the CPU usage will be maxed out. To start the race, let's start with the camera in third person. And as of right now, we're using all the GPU and a few of the cores get to 100%. Again, we're racing against the AI, so there's more stress on the CPU and GPU. In my 4GB GPU, this didn't fly when playing against the AI. The frame rate went down to a crawl. And this game used a lot of VRAM as well. As you can see right now, we're at 8.9 gigabytes of VRAM and 10 gigabytes of RAM. Valve released SteamOS 3.6, I think it was. They added the ZRAM feature, which allows you to do this. That's why the game doesn't crash right now when going and using all the memory. So when you're memory constrained, now it's better. And as you can see, as long as I get away from the AI and the horrible driving, I start staying above 40s basically across the board with stutters. Okay, so when you restart the race, you might get the game frozen for a few seconds and then you'll be back here. We hit drive. And okay, we're now at 30. Let's wait for the UI to be removed. So 30 FPS, you might say, okay, that's fine. The thing is, when you swap cameras to the cockpit as an example and you see mirrors and all that, we get a sudden drop in performance when coming in and out of the cockpit camera. Whoa. And that's because I'm guessing it happens on PC as well. It's turning on and off the mirrors. That's my guess. I'm not entirely sure why that happens. There's a lot of ghosting, especially in the hands of the driver. I'm guessing that's FSR3. It just doesn't look particularly amazing. Very, very chunky. If you look at, again, I'm going to zoom in a little to the hands of the driver, you're going to see it. On the smaller screen, it's less noticeable, but it's still there. And if you move the camera outside of the vehicle, you get a drop in performance very quickly, and then it likes to stabilize. Now we're doing the same thing, but on a rainy condition. The thing that really you should pay attention to is that the game actually crashed for me when I tried to load another race. So the VRAM usage is super high. I'm guessing that overflows all the RAM that we have. And why am I showing you rainy conditions? Well, the rainy conditions tend to be more taxing with the effects and all that. Personally, I don't think the rain effect behind the cars, the particles, are particularly great. This happens also on the high setting of PC. But performance still seems to be into the 30s, at least in the third person camera, close to the other racers. That's rude, dude. So yeah, as soon as you get away from the AI, it runs a little bit better. Let's see first person camera. Oh, the mirror seems to be broken in the middle. There's a lot of ghosting and chunkiness, like I told you before. So personally, in this case, I'll just lock it to 30 FPS for it to be a little bit more stable. But the fact that it crashes when I'm trying to load a second race or something, yeah, right now I wouldn't say it's a good idea. Let's check it out on the smaller screen. And I'm obviously going against AI to make the Steam Deck suffer a little bit more. Realistically speaking, if you're playing this game, you're probably racing against someone. It's a sim racer, it's early access, and well, when you're racing against AI, it's more taxing, basically. But it doesn't hold 40s if you try to go for a higher frame rate, at least at the moment. This is a custom engine, it's early access, again version 0.1.3. I wasn't expecting it to be particularly great, but we have like 4 tracks and very few cars at the moment. All things considered, big respect for making their own engine. They did the same with the original Assetto Corsa. And well, that game was on early access for like 11 months, I think, and it came out fantastically great. You can mod the hell out of it, there's a lot of people that play it, it's way less demanding than this one. Of course, it doesn't look as good as this other one, but they promised a lot of things, way more tracks, an open world map with traffic and all that, Forza Horizon style, I guess, which I'm excited to see later. There's also going to be multiplayer in the next patches, I'm not sure how long it'll take. But according to them, in fall 2025, the game should be on version 1.0. But at the moment, it's very early. It's early access, but it's one of those that I like to call earliest access. I mean, again, there is not even multiplayer yet, which should be coming in a couple patches, a couple major patches from now. But as soon as the game releases on 1.0, I'll be revisiting it, looking at the open world map. Hopefully at that time they can optimize it further to use less memory, especially VRAM. On my 8GB GPUs, it was a nightmare going above 1080p when it came to VRAM usage. I mean, in the menu already it used all my VRAM on my computer. So the Steam Deck is no different, as you can see it's using like 9GB. And since we're running out of memory, the Steam Deck only has 16 gigs. It's probably compensating. That's why it crashed, I'm guessing, when I tried changing tracks a couple times. So right now, I wouldn't recommend it on Steam Deck. It's 2.5 hours of battery, locked to 30 FPS. And usually if you want to play a racing game or sim racer, you're not playing at 30 FPS. You want something higher. In this case, well, all things considered, this is running way better than I expected. I thought it was going to be unplayable after trying it on 4GB GPUs on a beefy computer, quote unquote. So yeah, I'm surprised on how it runs on Steam Deck. You can play it at 30 FPS, but again, FSR 3, the implementation is not particularly amazing. It has a lot of blockiness to the image, but I'll be back testing this once the game releases on 1.0. Hopefully by then we'll have the open world map, better performance. Again, custom engine, this is very early days, so we'll see what happens later. Okay guys, that's it for now, thank you so much for watching. If you want to play this on Steam Deck, my advice is to play it without AI opponents, to make it easier for the Steam Deck. I still recommend to lock it to 30 FPS, but as soon as we get major updates, I'll be covering the game again, especially once it hits version 1.0, that it will have a bigger map and all that, so yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see ya next time.